Financial Survival Network, helping you to survive and thrive in the new economy. Get our complimentary newsletter at financialsurvivalnetwork.com. This is the Financial Survival Network.
Hey, if you're a coffee connoisseur like me, you need to try an amazing new roaster out of LA, Tonks Coffee. These guys are fanatical about delivering the best beans in the world. They source directly from the growers, roast it, and ship it to you within 24 hours, so it's the most fresh coffee you've ever tasted. Every 2 weeks, you get a new batch of incredible beans roasted to perfection. If you're hitting a cafe most mornings, this is a much better and more economical way to get great coffee. Tonks is by subscription only, and they're offering you a free sample. Use the URL tonks.org/liberty. That's TONX.org/liberty. Get some for yourself or send it to someone you know who appreciates the finer things. Tonks.org/liberty. Again, TONX.org/liberty. You are listening to the FinancialSurvivalNetwork.com. I'm Kerry Lutz on 1230 WBZT. We are here live at Equity University. Equity Trust is the largest self-directed IRA custodian, managing, I think, around $12 or $13 billion in self-directed IRAs, and amazingly enough, only about 2% of all IRAs are self-directed. At the FinancialSurvivalNetwork.com, we believe that all IRAs should be self-directed, no matter what you decide to put them into. We hooked up, surprisingly enough, with our old friend Seth Peretzman from Owings Metals. They were a sponsor of the Liberty Mastermind Symposium. Seth, it's great to see you. How you doing?
I'm doing terrific, Kerry. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it, and it's a pleasure bumping into you at the conference.
Hey, so the metals markets have been in a little bit of flux. They've been trading over, gold's trading over $1,300 the ounce. It's just about to dip below $1,300. All of a sudden, on Wednesday, there's an announcement by Uncle Ben Bernanke that, you know what? That taper thing, whatever it is we're talking about, we're not going to do it until December and maybe not until 2014. Gold goes up almost $56 the ounce in a day, and then it hits the fan.
You know, several months or over a year ago when they started talking about tapering, I found it very hard to believe that would actually come to fruition. The Federal Reserve to stop quantitative easing, to stop printing money is unrealistic. And if they were to do so, the markets would collapse. So it wasn't a surprise to me, although it was a surprise to the market. It wasn't a complete surprise to me to hear that announcement. I was a bit shocked by the response to see gold shoot up about $60. We had sent out an alert to our clients on Wednesday afternoon, just after the announcement, about 2:30, giving them a heads up that, I think gold was up 2.5% to 3%, and silver was up 6% or so. I'm sorry, down 6% or so. So, the markets got hit hard. It wasn't just the metals, it was the stock markets, it was everything. So, it's interesting to see how the markets do react to the Federal Reserve with not even executing or implementing plans. Just the fact that they're talking about taking these steps or not taking these steps and seeing how the markets react. I think it's going to, we're going to see more and more of it. I don't think it's going to change. I'd love to see the volatility one way or the other, although I'd love to see the prices drop. Business picks up, the phone rings, and clients love to see a discount in the prices right now. So although it was a little bit of a shock to the market, it was great for us to see, and it was great for Owings Metals and the industry as a whole, physical metals.
Yeah, this whole concept of tapering, isn't it really completely disingenuous? Look, even though the deficit is down from last year, largely due to the diminished sequestration process and other factors. So what? We're only running a $625 billion deficit. Really, they can't just turn off the spigot. And God only knows what the true deficit is, because a lot of stuff is off balance sheet and everything else. And really, they just can't afford to stop feeding the monster. I mean, what would happen if they really stopped buying these bonds?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I agree with you. It's disingenuous. I mean, they cannot afford to, and by they I mean the central bank, whether it's the Federal Reserve or any of the world's central banks, cannot afford to stop printing money. If they do, I mean, just talks about raising the interest rate. Even you're talking about raising it 0.25%, the market reacts poorly. Let alone if they ever implement it, it would blow up the entire quadrillion-dollar derivatives market. And in regards to the government running the deficit decreasing, I mean, to me, it's all a numbers game. It's an accounting game. Whether it's shrinking, whether it's growing, it's all the same thing. They're going to continue printing money. They cannot stop. And of course, that will be good for gold and silver in the long term. In the short term, volatility will continue. As long as you understand the fundamentals, if you're buying gold and silver for the right reasons, for insurance, for protection against the dollar and all the dollar-denominated assets, then there's no such thing as buying at a bad price. I bought plenty of silver when it was $8. I bought plenty of silver when it was $47. I don't regret either purchase. I'll continue buying on the way up, on the way down, and accumulating to protect my assets. And I know a lot of my clients are doing the same thing. Absolutely.
Yeah, so as far as where it's heading, where the economy is heading, there's all sorts of mixed opinions, and we hear from all these experts who never saw the crash coming in the first place that real estate, the recovery is back on track, nothing to worry about here, everything's going to be fine.
A lot of those quote-unquote experts you'll see on CNBC or on the normal financial outlets obviously have a poor understanding of basic economics. I mean, it's not hard. You obviously cannot tell the future. There's no telling what's going to happen in terms of timing. But if you understand the fundamentals, Austrian economics, sound money, free markets, it's not hard to see what's coming down the path. It's not unique. It's not that it's never happened here. Hyperinflation, currency devaluation happens all the time. Latin America, throughout Europe, it's happened in the U.S. before. So it's nothing new. We're not special, and it's not different this time around. It's just a matter of protecting yourself and preparing for a worst-case scenario. And if we're wrong, then knock on wood, then you have gold and silver, which will always have its intrinsic value and never go to zero. I'd rather be 3 years, 5 years too early than 1 day too late, because that 1 day too late can mean literally life and death, or at least the difference between wealth or poverty.
It's kind of like having a gun. The only time a gun is important is when you don't have it. The only time money is important is when you don't have it. And the only time gold and silver is important is when you need it and you don't have it. So getting over to Owings Metals, you have like a rather unique product, and that is investment jewelry, which I assume for the Indian community is like really interesting, because my understanding is when you want to take investment jewelry out of the country, what you're wearing, like if you're Mr. T, you kind of just wear it out of the country and that's it.
Absolutely. At Owings Metals, our tagline is beyond the traditional dealer. I mean, we offer the traditional services in terms of gold and silver bullion for physical delivery, but beyond that, we pride ourselves on being creative and coming up with different ideas. One of the ideas is the 24-karat gold jewelry, which we sell in several different designs, different lengths, and different ounces. But honestly, it's not about the design, it's not about the fashion, it's about the utility. Its purpose really is the fact that if you're traveling across borders with bullion, with coins, you're going to end up having to declare that or report it to customs as you're moving across the border. Or if when you pass away and you're passing down your assets to your heirs, the reportability for the gold jewelry, whether you're crossing customs and borders or you're passing down to your heirs, is much more favorable versus bullion, which we always stress first and foremost, the most important thing is a strong foundation of bullion. Owning gold and silver coins and bars and having that solid foundation is the most important thing. Above and beyond that, we think the 24-karat gold jewelry is a perfect complement. It's something different. It's something that offers some benefits that normal bullion does not offer. And relative to jewelry that you'll find in the store, most Americans have never even seen 24 karat gold jewelry before. They're used to 14 karat gold jewelry they find at the mall, and they'll typically buy at 200 to 300% above the gold price, and typically even higher than that. With our Owings 24 karat gold jewelry, we sell it at approximately, it's going to range between 35 and 45% above spot price, depending on the design and the length and the amount of gold that's used. So it's a nice option versus the bullion and numismatics, which numismatics often are going to run you up to 100 to 200% premium, sometimes more than that as well. So in terms of reportability, in terms of passing it down to your heirs in an heirloom product, it's a great option, and people are loving it. It's doing very well, and thank you to Kerry partially and a few of our other partners. But everything's gone very well, and people are pleased, and it's been a great success.
Yeah, well, the Indians, and I'm talking not about American Indians, I'm talking about Asian Indians, have known about this for thousands of years. I mean, I have Indian friends, and they're more into 22 karat jewelry. The only reason they use 22 is they put in a little alloy. It's less apt to break. It's a little bit more resilient. But basically 22, 24 karat jewelry, pretty much pretty close. And you can wear it out of the country. And once you're out of the country with your jewelry, you do with it what you please, right?
Absolutely, and you just touched on one of the major concerns that we hear about when people call up and inquiring for more information is the fact that a lot of people feel that 24 karat gold is, well, first off, a lot of people don't even recognize 24 karat gold because it's a beautiful, deep yellow gold, which many people aren't used to. It's not part of the American culture. Like you said, it's definitely part of the Chinese and the Indian culture. But a lot of people have concerns that it's too soft, that it will nick, it will break, it won't last as long. But it's important to stress that this jewelry is not jewelry you're definitely not wearing it to the basketball court and roughhousing and knocking it around. This is jewelry you certainly can wear out if you want to an event or whatever it might be. But again, the hardness of it, the purity of the 24 karat is not an issue, because again, this is not just like you're not going to take your gold maple leafs out and clank them around and nick them up. You're not going to do the same thing with this jewelry. So it's really not a concern in terms of the purity and the softness and the deep yellow. I'm telling you, it's a beautiful, beautiful gold.
Yeah, it kind of looks like those Egyptian artifacts out of the pyramids. So, Seth, want to find out more about Owings Metals, want to contact you or the website, where do we go?
Absolutely. You can visit owingsmetals.com. It's OWINGS metals.com. We'll be rolling out a new website, hopefully within the next 3 to 4 weeks, so that's something to look forward to. And you can always reach us. Our phone number is 443-334-8840, and our 800 number is 855-545-0251. And actually, my personal email address is S as in Seth, P as in Paul, SP@owingsmetals.com. Feel free to contact me, reach out to me, and I'll be happy to have a conversation and have a consultation if that's what you're looking to do.
All right, Seth, that's great. And I do like that concept of the investment jewelry. I think it's pretty cool. And go over to financialsurvivalnetwork.com, sign up for the newsletter. I promise this week is the week when we restart it. And look forward to hearing from you all. KL@kerrylutz.com. Don't hesitate to send me an email. Really enjoy reading your comments, your feedback. It's always welcome. All right, Seth, thanks again.
Thank you very much, Kerry. I appreciate it.
I want to welcome our new sponsor, Audible. I've been listening to audiobooks from them for over 5 years now. I am a huge Audible fan. In fact, I've bought multiple Platinum memberships. Platinum membership, you buy 25 audiobooks at a time. I just got done listening to the first 3 or 4 books of the Jack Reacher series, the one you probably saw, or maybe you didn't, in the theater, Tom Cruise movie. I mean, just a wonderful book, wonderful series, expertly narrated, and so many times I'm in the car, I get sick of listening to music or news or the radio. I just put my iPod on, plays the book, and makes that trip go by so quickly. To me, this is one of the great things of the information revolution of the internet, is that you can get over 100,000 books on your iPad or iPod or iPhone instantly. Another thing that they have is courses on Audible, the Modern Scholar series. And I've listened to lectures about World War I, Shakespeare, nanotechnology, detective novels. It's so enlightening. To me, Audible is a must-have killer app for the iPhone, the iPad, for my computer, wherever I am. I'm always downloading these books. Like I say, they're a sponsor, so check them out. They've got a free audiobook and a 30-day free trial membership. Just sign up at www.audiblepodcast.com/Lutz, Lutz. Again, audiblepodcast.com/Lutz. Sign up today. Like I say, this to me is a dream sponsor. These are exactly the types of things that I like to pass on to you because I'm such a fanatical, over-the-top Audible user. 5-6 years I've been listening, hundreds of books. I used to think I was a well-read person, and it's a little strange when somebody asks you, did you read that book? And you have to say, well, somebody actually read it to me, but they actually did a better job than I could have, so I don't mind it. But my friend Sean Perger up in Vancouver, he listens to almost as many as I do, and he can't get enough. I know you're going to love this company, love their service. I do. So check them out. audiblepodcast.com/Lutz.
The Financial Survival Network, helping you to survive and thrive in the new economy. Get our complimentary newsletter at financialsurvivalnetwork.com. This is the Financial Survival Network.